Interesting updates coming in by the way of PLI schemes, Karthik. We're essentially understanding that government is hoping to identify sectors that have been laggards so far and have gotten benefits or subsidy under PLI scheme. What exactly will happen?
Okay, so Shweta, as I understand, the PLI scheme was rolled out in 2020, and if you remember, that was when we really needed to strengthen the supply side of our economy and get industries and their engines to fire on all cylinders for the economy to continue sustaining itself, right? So that is when the PLI scheme was introduced as an incentive to give swaps to certain industries, certain sectors. It started with 14. I think it got extended to about 18, eventually to 21 or something, if the number is correct. And the idea then was that let's subsidize, incentivize manufacturing across these multiple sectors and get these sectors to really fire up and create employment opportunities and get the economy going through way of production, right? Now, it was a great move at that time and seen as a major initiative to strengthen India's supply side of the economy when demand was actually dwindling. But having said that, there were certain sectors that were early adopters to the PLI scheme, and these included drones, for example. Drones really took on to PLI really well, right? In addition to drones, you also had the IT pack, medical devices, drugs. These were sectors that took on to PLI because they were relevant at that time and they did not require a very long gestation period. Now remember, the total outlay for the PLI scheme was given at almost 2 lakh crore rupees, about 1.97 lakh crores. Now, up until now, there has been a disbursement of only about 2,900 crores. Okay. Right. So, 2,900 crores disbursed against an outlay of 1.97 lakh crores. So, very little has been disbursed, and even total the claims that have been made to the government are to the tune of about 3,500 crores or so, which will get honored in time. So, there's still a huge gap, unfulfilled gap, and that happened on account of sectors like automobiles, auto parts, solar PV panels, etc., which require a fairly large technological gestation period. Setting up plants, getting the equipment, importing the equipment, or getting equipment manufactured in India and brought in, and overall the whole process of manufacturing is a very long process. So, in light of that, to now extend or revise the PLI scheme for these sectors that have been laggards, automobile, auto components, solar PV panels, etc. There's a relook at the PLI scheme that, hey, should we elongate the runway for certain sectors, or should we extend the subsidy, to other sectors that will compel, these sectors to fire up and adopt the PLI scheme. So basically, to strengthen the auto sector primarily.
What was the current time frame of the current PLI
I don't remember, but I think it started with a 3-year window, that there was a 3-year tax holiday and an incentive, and thereafter it was tapering off gradually. But I think now the relook happens basically to strengthen these sectors, which are going to be massive employment generators and producing goods which are going to be sold at a higher price point, through which better GDP, better GST numbers can be collected to also offset the incentive through PLI. So I think the whole objective was that if we fire up the industry and the industry starts producing by us incentivizing, eventually when they produce and they sell, there's going to be GST collection, which is going to offset the amount of subsidy that gets provided.
Right. And so there is a possibility now that the window could be extended.
Or other sectors get added which compel these sectors to fire up.
All right. So good news there coming in by the way of PLI scheme.